lickety spickly out to my old 55. As I pulled away slowly, feeling so holy, God knows I was feeling alive. Well, now the sun's coming up, riding with Lady Luck. Freeway cars and trucks, stars beginning to fade, and I lead the parade, just a wishing I'd stayed a little longer. Oh Lord, let me tell you that the feeling's getting stronger. It's 6 in the morning, gave me no warning. I had to be on my way. There's a trucks all are passing me, and the lights all are flashing. I'm on my way home from your place, and now the sun's coming up, riding with Lady Luck. Freeway cars and trucks, stars beginning to fade, and I lead the parade, just a wishing I'd stayed a little longer. Oh Lord, let me tell you that the feeling's getting stronger. My time went so quickly, I went lickety spitly out to my old 55. So I pulled away slowly, feeling so holy, God knows I was feeling alive. Well, now the sun's coming up, riding with Lady Luck. Freeway cars and trucks, freeway cars and trucks, freeway cars and trucks. Hey, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out Old 55 by one of my all-time favorite artists. It is, of course, the great Tom Waits. It's a beautiful song. It's an acoustic arrangement I'm going to show you with a capo at the 6th fret. I don't think this is what's played on the original recording, but I think it works real nice. I'm going to show you a few different approaches. I'll show you some simple chords and a few kind of fancy things that you can kind of borrow from the piano parts, and a couple of different approaches to strumming it. I think it's nice to do a different approach between the verses and the choruses there. It's a lovely song to play. You definitely got to be familiar with the tune, because maybe the chord changes aren't kind of super regular. It's not like there's a standard 4-chord thing that just runs through the whole song. Interesting little twist on this one. We're playing it with a capo at the 6th fret, but if you wanted to play the Eagles cover of this song, you can play exactly what I'm playing, but take the capo off and play it in open position, and you'll be in the right key for a Eagles play along. It's essentially the same, their version. Prefer the Tom Waits one myself, but you only have to make some minor adjustments if you want to play the Eagles version of the song. Let's get to a close-up. Check it out. Let's start using just the most basic open chords. You're only going to need a C, E minor, F, which I normally play here with the thumb over. If you can't do that, you could play bar chord F like that, or little F major 7, or mini F. Any of those Fs are going to work in this song. And then a G. I regularly use the 3rd and 4th fingers, but if you know a different way, you could use a different G as well. And I think that we got an A minor popping up in the chorus as well. Oh, and a D7. But I'll show you little variations for all of these chords as we go along. But let's start off like the most basic playthrough. So the intro will be C for a bar, da, 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 E minor, da, da, half a bar of F, half a bar of G, and then a bar of C. The verse starts with the same thing. C chord so quickly, I went E minor spitly, F to my G, back to C. As I seed away slowly, I was E minor so holy, got F, I was feeling a G. So the second part of the verse, same chords, but instead of going to the F to G for half a bar each and going back to C, stays a full bar on the F and then a full bar back on the G. Let's just play that verse progression one more time because we use it for all of the other verses as well. So again, starting on the C, 3, 4, my C chord went quickly, I went E minor spitly, F to the G, back to C, 2, 3, 4, as I seed away slowly, E minor so holy, got F, I was feeling a G for a whole bar, and then into the chorus. And now the C to E minor to F to G. So C to E minor to F to G. C way E minor to F, stays there to G. Stars beginning to C, 2, 3, 4, G. And I lead the Percy back to G. Just a wishing I'd A minor a little longer, D7. Oh Lord, let me feel you that the G is getting stronger. And then a second bar of G. And it's back to the verse. Let's run that chorus again because that chord progression does feel a little bit odd, I guess, because the changes aren't as regular as you might expect in a regular pop song. But this isn't a regular pop song. This is Tom Waits at his full genius mode. Starting again on the C chord for the chorus. Now the C's E minoring F to G. I'm C'ing with E minor luck F to G. C chord E minor to F, and you just stay there. 3, 4 to G. Stars beginning to C, 2, 3, 4 to G. And I lead the Percy, 3, 4 back to G. Just a wishing I'd A minor a little longer, D7. Oh Lord, let me tell you that the G chord's getting stronger. And there's like an extra bar of G there just to chill out on before we get to the C chord. So really strong way of learning this tune would be to start with just super simple strumming. I'm using my thumb here, you could use a pick if you want, but just strumming the down strums and playing along with the original recording. So getting used to the form, getting used to the chords before you start going at adding any fancy stuff, right? Because there's quite a few different approaches you might like to explore. I'm going to give you a couple that I think kind of work really well, but you might want to explore maybe playing it like traditional finger picking approach would work really well. You could strum it a little bit more. You know, I'd encourage you to kind of make it your own a little bit as well. It's one of those songs so beautiful, and the melody's so strong that you really can kind of play around with your version of it, and it'll still kind of hold itself up pretty well. So let's talk about a few of the little kind of chord things that you can do that really make it sound a little bit more like the record. Their kind of ideas, I guess, are borrowed from the piano. Very often the G chord isn't a proper G chord, and we end up playing a G sus, the very holy chord. And we also add a little bit of a C sus as well when we're on the C chord. It's a really nice little embellishment that you can add in. So let me go through and explain some of those that you might want to do, and then we'll go a little bit more into the rhythm approaches that you might like to add in as well. But I think it's easier to discuss the chord variations first of all. So for the verses, time went so quickly, I could despicably hear F to G. Now nearly always, not every time, but nearly always, I'm playing it as a G sus. So if you're using an F chord like this, I think a lot of the times I'm playing actually an F major 7, so the thinner string is open, well, played by the capo here. So I've got here the 1st fret, I'm muting the 5th string most of the time. Sometimes I play it with my 3rd finger there. I hold down 2 strings with the 3rd finger. That's not really a beginnery kind of idea, so don't worry about if you're going to mute the 5th string, that totally works. Then 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 1st fret, and then open thinner string. And then when I go to the G, I just leave my 1st finger down. Okay, so this is a G sus chord, the holy chord. I think on the record it's actually maybe an F major 7 with a G bass. So this would be like playing that whole grip there, but using your little finger here and putting your 3rd finger down. That kind of chord, the F with the G bass, a lot easier on the piano because you're kind of holding the same chord down and just move the bass note because they're usually played with separate hands. So it's one of those things that kind of works very easy on piano, but on guitar it's a little bit of an awkward chord change. It's not impossible. You could definitely be going F to play it that way. It's definitely a thing. People do that all the time. But I feel like if we're going to do it as a keeping it kind of folksy, guitar-y version, then maybe just doing the F and then going to the G sus kind of has the same effect, but without having to muck around the fingering. And then you get that high G note as well, which I feel like works really well. So my probably preferred approach would be playing C to quickly, to E minus quickly, F to G sus, then to C. And then now on the C, little finger going down 1 fret higher than your 2nd finger. I very often play, so I'm picking the 4th string, hammering my little finger down on the 4th string on the 3rd fret, or 3 frets above the capo. Then I play 3rd string, 2nd string, and then hammer that 2nd finger back on. 1 and 2 triplet, 3, 4. 1 and 2 triplet, 3, 4. Strum. Again, this is just my thing. There is a sus on the record, played by the piano and the guitar echoes at different points, but yeah, this is my arrangement. So don't feel like you have to copy it exactly, but if you want to get that right, so it's 1 and 2 triplet, 3, 4. 1 and 2 triplet, 3, 4. 1 and 2 triplet. And then add that little hammer on. That C, the sus on the C works real great. So for the verses, I would normally be going C so quickly, E minor so spickly, F to G sus, and then to C sus. Yeah, it should kind of point out the pedant in me wants to suggest that this is kind of an add 4 more than a C sus, because C sus, you should bar the 1st finger as well to get a true C sus. So it depends if you play the thinner string. If you're not playing the thinner string, technically it's a C sus 4. You could call it a C add 4. I don't care. It's just adding the little finger in there to get a little variation. The second half of the verse, I will slowly, as E minor so holy, God F, I was feeling a G sus, and now the sun's. So I just hang there on the G sus. You could play a regular G there as well. So it's one of those things where you could play a regular G, or you could play a G sus. it depends. I quite like having that G sus sound through the verses and then opening it up to the full G in the choruses. But again, I think on the original recording, there's a lot of that G sus or F over G on the original recording. So it's a choice thing. You get to choose which one you want and how complicated you want to make it. You could choose to keep the chords real simple, or you could choose to add in some of these little embellishments. It would be completely up to you. In the chorus, the sun's coming up. Again, you could keep that, or sun's coming F to G. Riding with lady love to regular G. Freeway cars and trucks, stay on the F. Now this little thing, this little line in, I think works great. It's definitely on the original recording, but it works great on just to have this 2nd fret to 3rd fret leading up to the G. Freeway cars and trucks, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Depending on how you're strumming, I would generally be playing it with my first finger, even though it's on the bass string, which you usually think you'd play with your thumb. You could do thumb, but I like, so it makes me feel more it's strumming. Up with the first finger and then down with the thumb. I get that strumming. But that might not be for you. Again, this is just my approach to the song. I'd encourage you to explore your own. You could go thumb, you could go finger. Doesn't really matter at all which one you want to do there. I do tend to often as well strum this a little bit more. So often if I'm playing it finger style like this, I'll strum with the first finger in the chorus. And that way I get up, down, 2, 3, 4. And then it's very easy because I'm just going strum up and then down again with my first finger. Stars beginning to fade, and then I'm going to add that C sus in there. As I lead the pussy, sus C. Just a turn into a minor a little longer. And again here, now instead of just a regular D7, I very often add this F sharp bass on the bottom. Again, it's not on the record, or it might be on the record by the piano, but it's not the official part or anything. But I like the sound of it. I tell you the feeling's getting stronger. And then go to the G. Holds the G for 2 bars there. I kind of feel like that's fairly important to get hip with the idea of holding that there. You could even hold it for longer if you needed a break or you forgot the lyrics or whatever. You know, it's just a kind of a pause there before the next verse comes in. Let's have a look at the strumming hand, because I feel like I do quite a nice thing here on the verses that you might like to check out. So I'm playing the bass note, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so thumb on the 1 and 2 and a little first finger strums. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Time went so quickly when liquor is quickly. Out to my old 55. And then I got that little C sus movement there. So again, this is just my an idea that you might like to try, but I feel like it works real well for the verses. Hey? Thumb, up, down, up, thumb, up, down, thumb, up, down, up, thumb, up, down, up, thumb, up, down, up, thumb, up, down, up, thumb. You could just strum through the C as well at the end there. Wouldn't really matter. It's up to you. Alone, God knows I was feeling alive. And now the sun's coming up. So now I'm just strumming with the first finger. So I'm kind of holding it like there's a pick, but I'm just using the first finger. So the sun's coming up. I'm riding with Lady Luck. Freeway cars and trucks. Stay on the F, then you got that little lick. Now the leader to fade. As I lead the parade. Just a wishing I'd stayed a little longer to the D7. Oh Lord, let me me feel you that the G is getting stronger. 1 and 2 and just strumming is just really simple. I'm just literally playing, kind of emphasizing the bass on 1 and 2 and then up down up 1 up down up 1. You could of course use that first pattern. The sun's coming up. You could stick with that if you want. Riding with Lady Luck also sounds great. I really like this approach. Freeway, cars and trucks, stars beginning to fade. So it's one of those songs where there's so many different approaches like this that you can get into. Like I said, I'd encourage you to explore an option that you like the sound of. I think this is a pretty good starting point for an arrangement, but if you fancy more strummy things, or you fancy more, doing this, I don't know what you call it, thumb on the bass on 1 and 3 and then it up strums with the first finger, you can do that. It's possible to get a little bit more of a hit on it if you do. So you can get the other fingers involved for a bit more of that backbeat thing. For me, this song's a little bit more mellow than that. I don't need that big, strong backbeat in it. But you might prefer that. And if you prefer that, then that's what you should do. It's such a fun song to have a bit of a play around with. What have I forgotten to mention? The ending, it just repeats around the freeway, cars and trucks and stays on the F chord there, just like it does in the regular verses. And it just does that. Does a little G chord and then ends on the C. It's relatively simple. I suppose one thing I should mention maybe is the intro. So on the intro, I'm just trying to slightly emulate the piano part. Going. Again, this is just my arrangement, but I'm still using this approach, but okay, it's probably harder than it looks. I'm really just trying to keep thinking down, up, and then trying to hit the melody. So I'm playing the thinner string, little finger down the third, looking for that melody. Da, 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 da. And then first finger goes down the first fret, second string on the E minor, F, and then I'm adding little finger down third fret on the second string, F, da, G. And this is G6, so this is, I can't show you, but there's just my third finger down. The rest of the strings are open. Little finger goes down to C. Let me do that one more time really slowly. So. Okay, so whenever I'm doing a note that's on beat 1 and 2 and 4, I'm using a down motion with my first finger. So it is like 1 and 1 with the thumb and with the first finger upstroke. Beat 2 is a downstroke with the first finger and then up again with the first finger. So I've got thumb, up, down, up. And if I'm ever playing a melody in this way, I'm still just using my first finger and my thumb, but I'm just targeting where the strum goes in order to try and get a particular melody that I'm after. In this case, it's going da 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 da. So again, you don't have to play it exactly the same. That's just my approach. I love the song. I know how that melody goes. It's part of the song for me, so I wanted to try and bring it into my arrangement. But it's, this is my arrangement, and it's a starting point for you if you want to play this song. Such a beautiful song, But you can absolutely play it with simplified chords without any of this fancy stuff, just regular strumming with a pick and playing C, E minor, F, G, and the A minor, just without getting into the sus chords or any of that. Still Work is a great tune. Play and sing along to your heart's content. Such a beautiful song. I love it. Loads more Tom Waits over on the website. If you haven't been over and checked them out, I've got all my favorites on over there, maybe some of your favorites as well. So, yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this lesson. I'll see you for plenty more very soon. You take care. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.